Hi, it's Kevin Fleming from Group Mariana, developer of Playa Mariana in Nicaragua. You're watching this video and all of our videos over the last, I guess, 3 to 5 months now because you're interested in everything that goes on behind the scenes developing real estate here in Nicaragua. More specifically, I've been talking about my own personal project with my wife called Playa Mariana, 8 kilometers south of Mazacapa in Nicaragua. Now, in the case you're watching this for the first time, you're going to come to know that I just like to hit record wherever I am and record a video unedited, unscripted, and today is just another one of those videos. So maybe with bad sound and lighting in the background. I'm sitting at the airport in the Oceanic Lounge, right in the corner. It's about an hour before my flight departs. I've been here for 90 days. And similar to a previous video that I made, you may or may not have seen it, back in December, the night before I left, around 5 o'clock, I made a video for about a half hour talking about my last 60 days in the country. So it seems fitting, out of nowhere and out of the blue, that I just sit here and talk to you for 15 or 20 minutes or however long, the experiences I've had over the last 90 days being in country. Now, the last quarter was really busy because when we came back in October of 2025, we were preparing ourselves for what was going to come in the new year. We had guests in country. We were visiting the neighborhoods in and around our project. We were getting basically warmed up again for the new year. And I think it was January 11th that I came back into country, and now it's April 1st. I guess it's April Fool's Day. So this isn't a joke. You're seeing this message on purpose, wherever it is that you're watching it today. And I wanted to, please allow me to share with you some of the things that have been going on over the last 3 months. So one of the important things that I'm a big believer in is when you're interested in real estate, and that's perhaps how you found this video, wherever it was showed to you, wherever it popped up into your feed, it's because you're interested in real estate and international real estate specifically. And you may have been poking around the international livings of the world, the Live and Invest Overseas, the Escape Artists, and any number of other publications that will broadly explain to you how, where, why to move overseas, invest, live, retire, earn income, or diversify your assets overseas and globally diversify your portfolios, which is all great information. Now, let's be clear about one thing. While I have 22 years of experience living, investing, and retiring, not just yet, but preparing for, earning income and diversifying assets overseas, I've been specifically involved in developing real estate, and it hasn't always been easy. In a number of videos, maybe even in the clips that you're starting to see now show up in your feed, they're from a challenge that we did back in January. And one of the things I really wanted to do was give individuals more education, less selling, you might say, to help you overcome the overwhelm of getting to know what country it is that you want to move into. And part of this 5-day challenge was to teach you how to buy real estate overseas and avoid the common mistakes that people make. And this was important because as a real estate developer for 22 years, more or less, okay, we've made some mistakes, but more importantly, I've seen all kinds of mistakes being made by common people, and that's what I want to try to help you avoid. And being a real estate developer, it was my mission to tell you what no real estate developer or agent wants you to know. Now, 5 days wasn't even enough time to do so. We went live January 19th to the 23rd, 5 days in a row for 1 hour live. And in some cases, it lasted even longer. And those clips you can see somewhere on YouTube or wherever you are watching this video. Amazing information, because that is the ground level part of where you start to look a little deeper when it comes to buying real estate, because you can poke around at the cost of living or how to get in or citizenship or residency. But in my experience, being around the world, presenting Nicaragua on over 100 stages, a number of 65 plus clients in the project, having raised $10 million for a pre-construction development in the country. I've heard some objections, some limiting beliefs, comments, good, bad, indifferent, over the years. And the challenge was meant to help you get a taste of how to take the next step forward, because it's really easy to look at stuff. Nothing really happens until you make the next step. Therefore, I highly suggest you go back and watch those videos. And down below in the description, the links, I'm sure you can find the start of them to get yourself going, which will help you cut 100 countries down to 3 within 5 minutes. All right? I'm not going to reveal all the details for you, but that's how you get started. So right now, if you're just watching this video for the first time, I'm at the airport. I'm literally sitting at this chair against this bench, and my phone is sitting on top of my bag. And it's kind of funny because I wasn't sure if I was going to make this video today or not. Now, January, besides the one country weight challenge that went live an hour a day, we also started to build out the water pumping station at Playa Mariana. And this was the first taste of infrastructure going into the development that could readily be seen, you might say. Now, looking at all the comments, and good and some bad that I delete, and some kind of questionable, one thing that I wanted to address in this video was it's probably pretty easy to sometimes hear me say, we've been doing this for 20 years, and then you might look at a project like ours, Playa Mariana, and you might not see anything there above the ground. But what's missing behind that automatic association, whereby you would look at what you can see as non-development, the important part is understanding what it takes to permit a development, to get it ready for construction, because you can't build anything until you have all these permits. Now, over the years when we got started and how we came about in purchasing our land and getting started, and when we talk about purchasing land, we're talking about 923 acres and 2 kilometers of beachfront, and developing this into a concept with over 300 home sites in different residential neighborhoods, hotel locations, a golf course. It's not a small and easy task. And so some of the things that we've had to do were really, really important. And unfortunately, you don't see that progress on the ground. And I kind of laugh with my wife a little bit, because many a times people see progress above the ground and they believe that's the best thing that could be going on. Little do they know everything that's going on behind the scenes, in whether it be for construction or the quality or permitting, whether it exists or not, or environmental. There's a lot that goes into developing a property. Now, when you take into consideration whether it's a development permit or a geological permit or a water permit or a letter of no objection or a cultural permit, and many more, title insurance, okay? There's so much permitting that goes on in a large development that it's pretty difficult to understand, especially when you have a golf course and you gotta deal with environmental issues when it comes to moving, hundreds, thousands of meters of cubic meters of earth in creating a golf course. You don't exactly build a construction or entrance or plant any trees when you have to move dirt for a golf course, right? Because when you start moving dirt for a golf course, some areas might be 10 meters below its current state, and other areas might be 10 meters above, building mountains and mountains that you're going to be teeing off on. And you're not going to start building anything until all the earth is moved in a project. I don't want to get off topic too far, except to say that try not to, whether it's our project or another project, just because you don't see anything, don't judge that as there's progress. You can judge at what stage of the development it is, but it shouldn't be judged at there's nothing being done, okay? And I think that's the lesson I'm trying to teach you right now, is understand there's a difference between progress in a development and stages of a development. And when you go to buy within a pre-construction development, the important part is to understand what stage the development is at, not what progress you can see. There's a huge, huge difference there, and unless you really understand that, you're going to be off basis in coming to an assumption too quick. Anyways, that's not to say that there are developments that have not achieved certain levels of progress, okay? Because you can certainly buy a project and stuff in something that you can see, but you don't always see behind the scenes what the quality construction is. So that was January. So January, going back to the water and the infrastructure. So for us here at Playa Mariana, because this is personal, right? We've built wells, 4 wells over the years, and we've permitted the entire project. And we've even started construction on some items, but we weren't able to finish some of it. And it was kind of interesting because there was a client that visited the project that was interested in buying real estate. And they were asking really great questions. But at the end of the day, they didn't buy. And one of the reasons they didn't buy, I think, was they perhaps saw some items that were under construction stopped and not finished. And it might have put into that person's mind that how come we couldn't finish something without really understanding the entire story. So for example, you might see a half-finished structure, all right, and you might think, oh, the developer couldn't finish it. Well, what if that half-finished structure was because the client who was building it died? Or what if that half-finished structure that you see was a client that went bankrupt or went through a divorce or simply walked away from the deal because they thought that they didn't want to put any more money into it because they didn't have it. So that has nothing to do with the developer, but you might come to the assumption that because you don't see something finished, it's the developer's fault. Now, in some areas, it can be. For example, we've made no, what's the expression, bones about it, so to speak, about some of the items which were under construction in our development, like a front entrance that got 50% of the way completed before we had to stop construction for one reason or another. And we've never really gotten into the really deep details of why certain things weren't finished, because quite frankly, it's the past, and I tend to try and look more forward towards the future. Now, on that note, one of the things that came out of the challenge that I believe is worth repeating here is when looking at safety of a country, you might associate safety with the country with violent crime or getting robbed or statistics of that nature. But I look at safety of the country also as structure in regards to how well did a country or developer or a project stand the test of time and things that have happened previously to know what's going to happen into the future and how that developer is going to react. Now, it's really, really important. I believe one of the strongest aspects of Playa Mariana, our particular company, Grupo Mariana, our project Playa Mariana at the beach, is that we've been tested through pre-construction, we've been tested through capital raising, we've been tested through the 2008 financial crash that basically lasted to 2011. We've been tested through redevelopment of a master plan. We've been tested through raising interest in hoteliers to come into the project. We've been tested in areas in which we started construction, have to stop, or defamation, or pandemics, or demonstrations, or political situations. In a number of ways, this project's been tested. I've been tested, my wife's been tested, my family's been tested, the clients and the investors have been tested, and yet we're still here, we're still pushing forward. That's because whether you know it or not, you're listening to this video, you've made it this far. This project is personal for my family, for myself. It's a legacy, it's for my children, it's for my children's children. But not only that, what once started as a huge development, and to some degree still is, because these projects, they only get developed in phases over time. This is more of a private Pacific preserve right now, whereby we are interested in creating the absolute best project in Nicaragua from the standpoint of view of utilizing the land to the point in which everybody can enjoy it. And that's a passion right now that I have that's not going to change. Now, January was so busy and so many things going on, especially with promotions, because we started to advertise more on Facebook, specifically in target markets whereby we wanted to attract the clientele that we wanted. An interesting dynamic started to happen is that for whatever reason, the clients that have been attracted to our development, and I kind of know why, I know why, but they were more of the boomer generation, more so than the Gen X generation, in which we were targeting our clientele, because we felt that was the generation interested in what it is that we had to offer in a pre-construction phase, with time on their hands to see the project develop before they utilize it. Now, what I'm seeing and hearing from the marketplace is there is more and more of an abundance of people that are looking to move out of North America and seeking a place where they can land really quick, build a home, and enjoy the beach. And we just so happened to offer that. But I was not promoting it in that light. So it was just interesting to make a comment on that. But not to get off topic, let's go back to construction and development. January ended up being pretty good because we closed on a number of sales for prospects that were in country, so that was a good thing. And the water and the infrastructure going in is an amazing thing. Now, what people don't understand about water, and I explained it in some of the other videos, is how that water is developed. Now, we're fortunate to have a really great civil engineer, Eduardo Alanis, that we met, and he's rather new within Nicaragua in the last 4 or 5 years, but not new by means of experience that he has. So, but what I liked about him was, one, he's young, two, he speaks English and Spanish, three, he's hungry to build his business, and his approach to working with our team was one in which to help us out with everything and not necessarily just what you pay him. And that was important to me because in our particular project and how we take ownership and stock of what we're doing, we want people to feel like they're part of it. And another important team member has been Donald Riki from Riki Studio, our architect. And I've known Donald for, now going on 13 years. He was an architect back when we were developing the project in 2012. And I really like the way in which he designs his stuff. But even though he'll say I make a lot of changes in the master plan, I'm being really anal and detailed, really what I'm seeing is just from a land planning standpoint of view how people are going to move throughout the project. But as an architect, what I like about him is he's very creative. And so for those of you watching this video now and you're looking for a great architect, I will plug Donald Riki, and look down below in the description because I'll put a link to his contact information. And when you're looking to build a house in Nicaragua, no matter what development it is, he's an excellent architect to get a hold of, as well as his wife, Dalia Gutierrez, who's an amazing interior designer and architect in her own right, who's helped us design our condominiums, which was really important in February because January 19th to the 23rd was our launch. But then we moved into January 19th to the 23rd was our One Country Way challenge. And then we moved into February 19th to the 22nd, which was going to be our first real estate launch in 12 years, the first time we actually released real estate. And I won't say that we were nervous about that because we knew exactly how many home sites we had to offer that were registered under our plan. We already been working with the condominium designs that we had from a previous time, which still were relevant today, but the interior renderings needed to be updated. And it was kind of funny because it was 10 days before the launch event online, and Dalia presented a quotation to me with here's 16 renderings and a complete revision, interior scale. And to be direct, I didn't think she could do it. She was pretty adamant that she would, and she was 7.5 months pregnant at the time, and I'm thinking there's no way she's gonna be ready. I would be happy with just 4, but she was committed. Needless to say, she finished them all. There's still some revisions to do. She did a great job. So Dalia, if you're watching this, thank you so much. You did an amazing job. Everybody loves your interior design and renderings and a style that you chose with. I'm really happy too. And more importantly, the hotel that we're going to announce in the next quarter, hopefully, should the agreements come into place, they love them as well. So what was interesting about the February launch was, when you're not familiar with these launches online, what generally happens from a marketing standpoint of view is a project or a marketer will someone go to the market on a Thursday and they will launch their product, whatever it might be, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you'll get the replay. And then by Sunday midnight, there's bonuses and the time is running out and you're encouraged to buy it. That's sort of how it's done in the industry. That's not uncommon. Now, I went a little bit overboard because I went live for the launch on Thursday, and I thought it was going to be an hour and 20, an hour and 30 minutes. I knew what I wanted to present because I had it all on the reservation page that I was going to present. But I ended up going 3.5 hours, and I was skipping through a lot so fast just to I was just so excited to share everything that we had to share with people that it just took that long. So the next day, I rearranged all my slides to try and speed up the presentation. It still took 3.5 hours. Then Saturday, again, there's no replays. So Saturday, I presented once again, trying to speed up everything. It still took 3.5 hours. And then Sunday, I wouldn't say I was frustrated that it took so long and I still didn't get through what I wanted, but I figured, what the hell? It's Sunday, we're in it this far, so I'm gonna go live for 8 hours straight from 5 o'clock, okay, to 1 in the morning. I'm gonna just deliver and go through all the information that we had. And you have to understand, if I were to deliver it, it probably would take, now that I know, to give you a sense of scale, it'd probably take me about 12 hours to really properly explain all the information, but I was trying to do it in 8. And so I started on Sunday, 8 hours live, okay? I've never did that before. And so by the end of Sunday, we had a total of 8 plus 9, almost 17 plus hours of live presentation where people were coming to listen to what it is that we had to offer. And so then the week went by, and I was like, what should we do? I said, let's do it again. So I thought I could do a really quick version in 1 hour. So the following Saturday, I think it was, I made another presentation, and it still went almost 3 hours. So when I'm telling you this because there's so much information to learn about a project that it's almost impossible just to get a quick glimpse of it, review material for a half hour, and make a good decision. And it's the same when you go into the country. When you're looking at a project, you probably need to really devote an entire day to one single project to get to know just a fraction of the stories that are behind it. I say that because twice in the months of January and February combined, we had clients stay at my house. And we would have these long, in-depth conversations, 8 hours traveling in the car across the country, talking about everything from the beginning to the present and the future of what it is that we have planned. And still to this day, I look back and not all the stories were shared, but some of the important stories were shared. And some of them are like 11 to 12 to 1 o'clock in the morning with some of our clients. And that's where you really get to know the developer. Now, the challenge with yourself looking to buy real estate is that's not a common thing, a common thing that you're going to experience getting so much access. And it's usually because you're going to be dealing with a real estate agent, and or when you're lucky enough to get a developer, perhaps they're going to give you all that time or not. I'm not sure if they're going to do that. In our particular case, my wife and I have always been open to spending more time with people, because why? When you're going to spend money overseas and you're going to send money to a stranger, it's probably one of the most scariest things you're ever going to do, because how often in life are you going to spend $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 on a piece of property, send it to a foreign country, and have never done that before and trust that everything's going to work out well? You're probably not going to do that. You're going to need more time with those individuals. So getting it is something that you're going to want to, as much as possible, value, and in some cases, even pay for. So the launch was over. Now, you can see the pattern developing, right? We have the challenge, which is the education, and we have the launch, which is selling of the real estate. And then in March, we concluded in March, the quarter, with our discovery event, our groundbreaking discovery event. And the goal, of course, is to bring people into the country, those who both have reserved a spot to buy real estate and those interested in buying real estate, and provide a guided experience for individuals coming in. Now, if you haven't seen our schedule, if you haven't been to an event, or you've never done a site tour, what generally happens at these events is you'll fly in on the first night, and this was March 19th to the 22nd was our discovery event. So you'll fly in on the 19th, which is a Thursday night. You'll check in, then there's a welcome reception. Then the next day, it's right off to the site and visiting the surrounding areas. And then on the third day, you'll get a taste of the country, no matter what country you're in. And then the fourth day, you go home. So it's a very fast structured, I'm at the airport, so if you hear something, that's what it is. So it's a very fast structured 3 days. But even that is really hard to get a taste of everything. So the onus is really on you to do all your homework and due diligence before you come into country. So it's not really, you don't know if you're going to buy or not. You already have a sense whether you're going to do it or not. You're really just checking on things that the information that you received already is now being confirmed because you're on the ground. And there's ways in which you can prepare for a site visit that will keep you grounded, you might say, which is staying away from alcohol and a whole bunch of other things, which I don't need to cover in this video. But the quarter ended in March with the event. So what was important to me, which is beneficial to you, the viewer, the listener, is you now have access to so much information, okay? The 5-day challenge, 20 hours of video recordings of the event that you can access. When it comes to our particular project, I'm just talking about our project, I'm not talking about the rest of the world, but our particular project, there's probably over 25 hours of video of me on site over the last 3 months, showing you all the different areas of the project, giving you an inside look of what's happening behind the scenes. Because that, again, the purpose of this channel, the purpose of wherever you're watching this video, the clip you might see of this right now, is to take you behind the scenes and give you a realistic view and understanding of what it takes to develop real estate. Now, you can always just go buy real estate. It's already built, it's already present, and there you go. Good luck with that. I wish you well. There's nothing wrong. You'll pay more for buying something that's built, but you're also going to get something. So there's value to that as well. Even myself now today, when I buy pre-construction, I would be the most difficult person to sell a pre-construction project to, because of the understanding of the questions that I know to ask to really value whether that's going to be a good investment or not, because you're going to have to wait for something to be developed, and that has a lot of factors that's going to either help you be successful or not. And that could be in the permitting side, it could be in the markets or whatever happens in the economy. It could be like wherever you're watching this video right now, it's April 1, so there's wars going on around the world, and inflation, and cost of oil's going up, and uncertainty. One good question, there could have been a better time to a better time to launch real estate and do what we were doing over the last quarter, when we were doing it in a way the world was in an uncertain time. But you see, that's the thing. There's never a good time. There's just never a good time to launch real estate. There's never a good time to start a development. It's like there's never the best time to start a family, or what's the best time to get married, or what's the best time to have a kid. You just have to do it. And then whatever happens, you just deal with things as they come about after that. Now, the next quarter is going to be very interesting. Now, it's 11:45, so I think I'm doing pretty good. They're not boarding just yet, but I have to be careful. Okay, I don't want to miss my flight. So the interesting thing to understand now is, moving forward, when you're watching this video, understanding what we're doing, not only do you want to go back and watch the videos that we've made so you can learn everything there is about us, but coming up into the next quarter, we move into the development and the construction of the roads. We move into development and construction of now water going to each individual lot site. We're working on the legal agreements to announce a 4.5, 5-star hotel, 100+ rooms coming to the beach at Playa Mariana. So that's really exciting. Now, there could be a number of things that blow up a deal like that. So as I've said before, and I will caveat that again, do not buy real estate with me because I tell you there's a hotel coming. What I'm telling you is we're working on the agreement for a hotel to come, but there's no announcement yet until we sign those papers and pay that check to make the announcement. So I'm just letting you know. That's my disclosure, okay? Don't come back and say, Kevin told me there was a hotel, and that's why I bought, and now there's no hotel, and I want my money back. Okay? You can't say that, okay? I've just literally just told you. And also, there'll be some more. There's another event which is coming up June 4th to the 7th, so you want to pay attention to that. That'll be our next event to bring people down into the country. But our primary focus now will be to recruit more agents and people to promote Nicaragua and get involved in what it is that's happening in the country. And Nicaragua is an amazing country. It's an emerging market. It has all the factors that the big money look for when it comes to access and location and tourism and foreign investment. all that is going on right now. And you can see that when you just take a look, even for a moment, you'll see, a huge new international hotel not international hotel, a new international airport that's under construction to handle 3 million passengers a year. The coastal highway, which has been under construction for 2 years, just opened in parts of the country. And I've been showing you over the months how it passes by Masachapa, which is only 8 kilometers from Playa Mariana. So right now you can drive on the road, and when you go back in previous videos, you can see us driving and walking that road and how it comes right up to our front door, which is an amazing opportunity for us to promote the project and see the valuations increase over time. And that's just the start of it. Nicaragua is just, I don't want to say warming up, because when I came here 22 years ago, it was already in development at the beginning stages, where people would say, this is Costa Rica 20 years ago. When you look at Nicaragua now today, it's more like Costa Rica, I don't want to say 40 years ago, okay, but close, very, very close. But it depends what area of the country you're in. In the southern area, things have been quite developed. In the central area where we're located in the Pacific Passage, the values are just starting to rise. This is the next up and coming region that you're going to want to pay attention to. And north, it's yet undiscovered, except for a few places, unless you know where to go. But otherwise, there's not a lot of development up there. And the country itself is now, I would say, in a very good position to welcome the world, as it's making massive investments into the future. And you're going to want to pay attention to that. So with that, I'm going to sign off. My name is Kevin Fleming. I'm the chairman, the founder with my wife of Grupo Mariana, which is the parent company of Playa Mariana in Nicaragua, 8 kilometers south of Masachapa. We're developing 923 acres of the beach, focusing first on, you could say, phase 1 of 150 acres, made up of different development parcels with a hotel, 2 hotels locations, residential lots, townhouses, tiny homes, a digital hub community, a little Granada del Pacifico at the beach. It's an amazing opportunity if you're looking at an amenity-rich development, 1 hour and a bit from Managua, in the best location along the best beach that you're going to find in Nicaragua. You're not going to want to miss out on that. So wherever you're watching this video, click above in the bio or look down below in the description for all the links. Slowly but surely go through them. And I want to leave you with this one thing. You will likely not take the next step. All right, watching this video to the end, to what you're looking at right now, is great. But the next step is to contact me. So look down below in the description. Look for the ability to book your free call to talk to me for 30 minutes. I'll help to assess the situation in where you are at. Now, I will caveat that. Please don't make appointments because you just want to talk to me unless you're really prepared to go forward, you have the funds in place, you are ready to make a commitment to do something. You're otherwise wasting your time talking to me. You should be ready to buy and make the decision, and what you need is some really good guidance to do so, and I'd be happy to help you. And then the second thing is to check out our events down below in the description. You'll see the event to our next discovery event. Look at the schedule, download the brochure, get on the list to find out more information, and perhaps even get yourself down to Nicaragua so you can see what it is that we're doing here. And those are 2 steps, right? So, or maybe there's 1 step before that. That is, go to playamariana.com and register to get on the wait list, receive our newsletters, get our emails, and know exactly what's coming up. So let me repeat that again. 3 steps, not 2 steps, 3 steps. 1, register at playamariana.com. 2, book your call with me. 3, go check out the Discovery event schedule and see what Nicaragua has to offer. It's an amazing country to come and unplug. You're definitely going to find your new different place here in Nicaragua and experience something real. So I'm signing off right now. It's Kevin Fleming from Grupo Mariana. Have a great day.